Mei Hatsume executes her biggest plan yet, Momo and Kaminari jump into action, and Shigaraki activates a secret ability? Let's talk about all of this and more as we dive right into the newest chapter of My Hero Academia. So My Hero Academia Chapter 346 is finally out, and with it we get to witness the hero's big plan in taking down Shigaraki. And let me just say, this is one crazy ass plan with an insane amount of moving parts. This is like fanfic crazy. But before I begin talking about this chapter, I'm first going to go into a quick summary of what happened last time. And as usual, don't forget to Detroit smash that like button and slide on into that subscribe button's DMs to hit that notification bell. In the last chapter, the heroes executed phase 1 of their master plan, in which Monoma the Great separated all of the villains using Kurogiri's Warp Gate quirk. Testicle Face All For One was sent to Gunga Mountain with Fire Daddy and Chicken Man, Endeavor and Hawks. The freaky sex icon, apparently, Dabi, was sent to Kamino Ward, where he had a JoJo standoff with his little bro Shoto. Ida is also there. The Blood King Queen herself, Himiko Toga, was sent to see Shamu in Waterworld with Ochako, Froppy, Gang Orca. Man, water parks must be really weird for him. And Deku, who was supposed to go with Bakugo, but Toga claimed him as her man, pulling him away. And finally, Senior Face Cream Tomura Shigaraki ended up at UA, which is now floating in the sky, where Bakugo, Best Jeanist, and a few others, as we will learn in the coming chapter, are going to teach his crusty ass a lesson on heroes. And this is where chapter 346 picks up. This chapter opens up with Bakugo coming out of his portal to UA, except this time we see that he's alongside Nejire Hado, Tamaki Yamajiki, Mirko, and Edgeshot. Best Jeanist, who was waiting at the school, is panicked that Deku isn't with them, and he asks what happened to the plan, to which Bakugo replies that he was probably pulled away by someone else. Tamaki, in classic Tamaki fashion, then also starts to panic, stating that using One for All was the basis of their entire plan. Nejire says that they need to inform everyone, and Mirko exclaims that she just wants the fight to start now. Shigaraki, whose eyes are now completely white, begins to analyze the situation he's been placed in, noting that they are on a surface floating high in the sky and that there are no other Liberation Front members in the nearby area. So he will have to deal with the heroes on his own. Now, it's interesting to note here that when referring to himself, Shigaraki uses the word Boku, which is the first person pronoun All For One uses. This, accompanied by the fact that his eyes are now completely white, highly suggests that this Shigaraki is more All For One than Shiggy. So he's more puppet than master. But anyway, after this analysis of his surroundings, Shigaraki touches the ground and attempts to activate his decay quirk. However, before his decay can properly start spreading, underneath the floor, iron plates propel upward and launch Shigaraki into the air, causing him to make contact with the surrounding force field, which starts to electrocute him. Before Shigaraki can recover from this shock, Best Jeanist uses his quirk to grapple Shiggy with huge wires, and then he proceeds to throw Shigaraki onto the ground. Although these restraints are short-lived, as Shigaraki quickly tears through these wires as he notices that the iron plate which catapulted him into the force field is now decaying in the sky, completely preventing the decay from spreading, ultimately nullifying Shigaraki's quirk. Basically, it's revealed that underneath the ground are a bunch of mechanical spring-loaded iron plates. So when Shigaraki starts decaying the ground, these plates activate, launch Shigaraki into the sky, and decay in mid-air, stopping his quirk from spreading. With this realization, Shigaraki begins to taunt Best Jeanist, stating that if this is their grand plan to stop him, it's completely flawed, as all he has to do is destroy the ground repeatedly until they run out of iron plates. But just as he says this, we see the spot on the ground he previously touched is being replaced by new iron plates, as Jeanist sassily remarks that he doesn't need to worry, because they have plenty of resources, clarifying that this floating island is actually an air fortress, created specifically to defeat Shigaraki. God damn, now that's some preparation. Following Following this statement, we then get a glimpse to inside the island, where we see an entire facility dedicated to keeping the island afloat and functional. In this facility, we see Power Loader coming out of a wall and warning Cementos of the plates that were destroyed. In hearing this, Cementos and Momo Yaoyorozu, who is also there, then get to work using their quirks to produce the necessary parts needed for Mei Hatsume and the support course to quickly build and replace the iron plates. It's actually kind of an ingenious process, as we also see Lunch Rush, you know, the pro chef hero who was introduced in the very first season and was never to be seen again, making food for Momo in the background, so she will never run out of lipids for her quirk, essentially giving them a near unlimited supply of resources to endlessly fight against Shigaraki. It's so convoluted and sounds so much like a crazy fan idea, why don't they just feed Momo constantly so she can make an infinite amount of stuff, that I can't help but smile about how great that is actually happening. There's also a cute little moment here between Momo and Mei, where Mei forgets Momo's name, so she formally introduces herself to Mei, but she clarifies that her friends call her Yao Momo, which I thought was super adorable. But anyway, back up top, Best Jeanist explains to Shigaraki that they are fully aware of the extent of his power, based on the previous war and his battle with Star. He also informs us that Mei Hatsume herself was the one who came up with the entire idea of making this arena to neutralize Shigaraki, which in my opinion further cements Mei as an absolute genius and one of UA's best, and I'm including the hero course in that. We also learn that the electric force field surrounding this island is being charged by Kaminari, who is hyped as all hell, Manga Fukudashi of class 1B, who is holding the onomatopoeia for thunder, which apparently is goo? I gotta look into that. And two other students from other school years who are all using their quirks to send electricity through large cables. Jeanist then continues his speech to Shigaraki as he says that no hero here cares about money or prestige. They just want to protect a better tomorrow. Bakugo and Mirko then quickly rush towards Shigaraki, and Shigi tries to deflect them away with his shockwave quirk. However, when he tries to activate it, nothing happens, as it's revealed that Monoma is nearby, sitting in a chair next to Aizawa, copying and using his erasure quirk. Monoma really did become the star player, didn't he? With Monoma constantly beside Aizawa, and Manuel, who is also there, keeping a constant flow of water around Monoma's eyes so he doesn't have to blink, there is essentially no limit on how long he can keep Aizawa's erasure activated. The heroes are pulling out all the stops. Although with every piece of their plan up to this point flawlessly in play, the heroes reached their first roadblock. And it's that the next part of the plan was for Midoriya to use all of his strength to finish off Shigaraki. But now, he isn't here. And this brief moment of not knowing what to do next proves to be fatal for the heroes, as Shigaraki activates a mutant type quirk which isn't affected by Aizawa's erasure, causing countless hands to start sprouting out from Shigaraki's arm. Mirko and Bakugo, who were charging the villain, are caught completely by surprise by this new ability, and it occurs to Aizawa that Shigaraki was incomplete during the battle at Jakku, so there is a good chance that All for One has been fully transferred since then. And with this, chapter 346 comes to an end, as Shigaraki states that he always thought Eraserhead was cool, but now he's disappointed with his role in the plan, as he sends a gigantic barrage of hands towards Mirko, injuring and piercing the hero. Overall, this was a good but another short chapter. It's really strange because I've been genuinely enjoying these past few chapters, but at the same time, I'm kind of left wanting more. Which can be seen both as a good thing that I'm excited for what's to come next, but also a bad thing in that I'm not feeling satisfied with the current content. Like, I really enjoyed the reveal in this chapter that the entire floating island is actually being run by a bunch of different people, each using their own unique powers. It's fun, a bit goofy, but also a great way to have a bunch of characters, while not directly on the front lines, still feeling involved and important in the final battle. But at the same time, this this reveal, while fun, doesn't feel like an entire chapter worth of content. Like, in the opening, they showed Nejire, Tamaki, and Edgeshot, and then they didn't show them again. It could have at least briefly shown them trying to attack Shigaraki, rather than just having Best Jeanist do it. But I'm sure they'll play an important role in the coming chapters. Also, I'm 99.99% sure that Mirko is going to escape Shigaraki's attack with her new mechanical hand. That thing is giant, and they wouldn't just show it off for it to never be used. So Mirko stands, don't worry. Your bunny girl is safe. Probably. If my only complaint of this chapter is that I want to see more, then that's definitely not the worst thing. But let me know what you think of this chapter. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like and comment what you think is going to happen next. For more My Hero content like this, subscribe to the Lunchtime crew. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Plus Ultra.